Welcome, 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 my loves. I hope that you are ready to see like Sheba. How do we like that? I don't know. It just came to me just now, but we are it's going to continue developing. But yeah, you guys ready? Cuz I don't know if you saw last episode, but I was reading I had took screenshots of the text messages that my brother-in-law had sent to me back in December of 2023 that were disinviting me from me and Billy, but like disinviting us from being around the our nieces um, because I was falsely accused of uh, threatening them. Anyway, really go back and watch that one if you didn't. It's like hard for me to read those texts for multiple reasons, but um I when I was doing last week's episode, I I haven't watched it back yet. I'll have to do that, but like I was like so mad. It was like triggering to like read this stuff, like being maligned, this like really shitty things from someone who was being really ungracious with me. Um, and I was, you know, I said how I felt. And I said like a lot of things about him. I'm like, he's stupid, he's a loser. A lot of things that, like, upon further reflection, I meant every word. I was correct. And I further realized that I have been doing a lot of ancestral work recently in my, it's kind of been like my main thing. I feel like has been like just doing like getting back to myself, spirit work, and ancestral healing and things. And um, I realized like while I was like reading that, I feel like the lineage of like my female ancestors were coming through and were like I feel like I come from a long line of really brilliant women who were forced to submit to the will of a man that was dumber than them, that like they knew was like not smart, was like, acting from unhealed traumas, and was, just like not supposed to be leading, but they were forced to like subvert their will to this like less qualified dude. And like just thinking about how humiliating that must have been, how devastating that must have been to like be surrounded by people who tell you like, sorry, yeah, it sucks, but like your best bet is just like kind of going along with what this guy says. And you know and so I, was telling my therapist about this the other day. I am like so proud of myself for manifesting such like a really perfect therapist for me. She's really like um brilliant in like a very compatible way with me. And it like um she always sends me this not always, but like when I want one, she sends me a summary kind of our session and her um reflections and some like points for me to consider and stuff, and it's so helpful. I don't know how like we don't usually have that. Like it's kind of hard to remember all the stuff that like goes on in therapy. And like yeah, it's interesting that we don't do that more often, but like it's amazing. I love it. Okay, so let me read you right from some of this stuff, because I also realized like, oh my gosh, I'm so powerful, lucky, whatever you want to call it, like able to draw a lot of resources and support to myself. And like mental health therapy and like this work is like so powerful, but I recognize not everyone has accessed it yet. So like let me give you some of what I get. This is some top quality, top dollar assistance and support that I am going to impart to you for free. Okay, so she writes, ancestral healing and rejecting submission to the will of men. For generations, society has required that women, particularly black women, dim their power, making space for men to lead, even when leadership qualities are absent. Even when leadership qualities are absent, not, limited or, deficient, not where it should be, absent. Yeah. Uh, we've inherited a world where the emotional, spiritual, and intellectual labor of women is expected and undervalued. Accountability is demanded of us, yet excused for men. We are expected to be the soft, forgiving, and patient, while they are allowed to be unyielding, immature, and unaccountable. Very true. Absolutely. Um, and that's what I was feeling with my brother-in-law, that like, everyone expects me to submit, literally, to compromise, to be reasonable, to accept that he's not going to change, he's not going to do anything differently, he's not going to apologize, and so I have to be reasonable and come for the good of the children. Like, babes, these are not my kids. What is happening right now? If it's for the good of the children, it's his children. He should change. He should be accountable. Not having access to their cool aunt is going to be bad for his children. Then he needs to do what is necessary to get access to this cool ass aunt. But, he is unwilling to do that. But yeah, anyway, so she wrote, yeah, I am breaking this lineage of submission. I'm standing in the power of my foremothers who were never meant to be obedient, but were forced into it for survival. Yeah, I'm choosing something else. I am honoring my foremothers by reclaiming what was stolen, my autonomy, my boldness, and my right to exist without catering to the comfort of others. Ooh, Abby! That's my therapist. She's so great. I'm obsessed with her. Let me yeah, like I just think she's so invaluable, and I'm just like, oh wow, really helpful reflection of, because like sometimes when I get going, as I do in a space like therapy, I kind of I don't remember exactly what was said, and I get anxious that I'm like, maybe it was too crazy, maybe it was just like insane. She's just being nice and nodding because I'm paying her to. First of all, like, what? Why would that be happening? But also, I love that, like, she sends me a thing that I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, is that what I was talking about? Yes, that is true. I'm so glad it made sense. But yeah, so in my episode, last week, I, had some moments afterwards of like, oh, should I have done it? Like, should I not have, blah, blah, blah. But like, actually, I'm a little annoyed at myself for kind of censoring myself a little bit. Like, I kept being like, ooh, in my head, I was like, oh, I shouldn't say his name, or I should, not say this, that, no, why? Like, this is who I am. Like, I'm surprised that he thought I would like just take this on the chin, take such a libelous message on the chin. Absolutely not. I'm so petty. Are you kidding? But yeah, and so when I was like doing this thing and saying it, I feel like I was like all of the women in my ancestral line who were forced not only to like be this woman, but also to see their sisters or mothers or grandmothers, or daughters, have to, the reasonable choice, was to kind of make yourself smaller, dim your light, in order to like follow this guy and how he wants to do it. And like, oh, knowing that like you're smarter than them, oh, how humiliating, how degrading. I'm really, grateful that they went through that and did it. They tried it so that I don't have to. I know how it's going to end. Because of them, like, I know that that is not how I have to do it. I don't have the same things that they maybe did. Like, the socio-political climate was not the same um for them. I just found out that my on my mom's side, my maternal, um my grandmother, her mother was this woman named Carlissa, and her mother was this woman named Floretta. I say woman, but she was actually only 14 years old. She was born in like 1888, and her daughter was born in 1901 or something. I was like, but like, how sad to have your girlhood stolen just because like you just come on the scene, and then like the world is kind of like, this is how it is, and you just have to like go with it before you even know what's really going on. And like, ugh, I would hate to like have a child and have to figure it out. Ugh, gosh, so much everyone had to battle. um and yeah, I'm sad for that. But yeah, so and it's so crazy. So she just sent me, my therapist just sent me this summary, and it aligned so perfectly with what I was already trying to talk about. And I was trying to figure out how to like, I was like, am I gonna articulate it well, or am I gonna this it? If I was a man, not every man, obviously, not Billy, but like, if I was the average man, I would just say whatever I wanted, and just, say it, and trust that there would be a chorus of dum dums who are gonna like look at me as God and just be like, wow, oh my gosh. And they're gonna be like, wow, really smart. I might not agree with everything, but like, I like the cut of his jib. Oh yeah, that's like a really brilliant. I'm like, he just tells it like it is. And so like, okay, I guess people can also have that same expectation for me. Like, you can just like appreciate and respect me for like telling it like it is and not censoring myself, especially in this age where free speech and censorship is so like rife. Fascism, you're not supposed to just like proactively, or submit and comply. And I'm just seeing that in so many different ways. So crazy. Anywho, so yeah, it got me thinking about I always be talking about Umbrella Academy. But we're taught in our society in all these different ways. We're taught that like men are the de facto leaders, and like how they want to do things, we're all supposed to like kind of, okay, that's what men want to do. All right, well, we got to do it. Okay, then we got to kind of make the best of whatever men want to do. And that's like so crazy. And like, we're gonna not do that on this timeline, on this new timeline. Sorry, babes. So I was thinking about Umbrella Academy, and how like, it's these like seven kids who are superheroes, and the like de facto leader is number one, right? Kind of, like the he's a white man. He's the strong one. He's a strong one, But when you think about it, that's rarely when they were in like a situation where they needed to be superheroes. Being strong, any guy can be really strong. It's like not really, our issues are not like, ooh, I wish we had like a strong enough guy. If only that, like, it's just not super helpful. Not as helpful as like the woman who can like, make anyone do anything she tells them to, and the other one who can just like control frequency and stuff. But anyway, they make number one the leader. And as they learn more about what their father was doing, like as they're older, number one, like the good soldier, the leader, he is sent to like work on the moon doing data or something, because like he like, for some reason, like they gave him like monkey DNA, and then he was like kind of part gorilla or something. I think it was in order to like save the dad or something, or save him. or something. I don't know. Anyway, um now he's strong, but he also like looks kind of like a monkey, a gorilla or something. And so they send him to like the moon, and he's like ostensibly doing data. Turns out they were just like, it was just busy work. He wasn't, they were just like keeping him busy. They didn't really have a role for him. They didn't really need a big strong guy, but they didn't want him to like feel useless. They didn't want him to feel bad. They didn't want to be honest with him. So he just sent him to the moon and gave him a little made up task to do. And he was really like, "Oh, I got to get these readings back to dad." So and then he like later finds out that they were just like gibberish. They didn't really mean anything, and that the dad didn't even look at them. I was like, "Oh my god." They sent this man to the moon and just were like, "No, you're doing such important work. You're a good." And then anyway, like he's the leader. Like you can't even trust him with the truth. Why would you make him the leader? The leader doesn't even know what's like actually going on. Like you send him to the moon to do busy work rather than be honest with him. Come on. Not the leader. Don't give him number 1. He's number 6 at best. Anyway, okay, Umbrella Academy. And then it got me thinking about, even before that, X-Men, right? Okay, like Professor X, he gets together his school of, mutants. And like the leader of the team of X-Men is Scott Cyclops, who's the white guy with the ability to shoot laser beams out of his eyes. Which, like, in the scheme of superpowers, is shooting laser beams out of your eyes the most useful skill? Like, how many of the X-Men's, like, situations they were in, problems they had to solve, would have been solved if they had the ability to shoot a laser at it? Like, we know how to shoot lasers out of stuff. Like, it seemed really like unhelpful. He had to keep those glasses on all the time or his eyes closed. Otherwise, he couldn't even control it. Like, is it really that useful to have someone who has an uncontrollable laser eyes? Is it smart to make him the leader? How was he the leader? How was he the captain of the team? What qualifies him to be captain of the X-Men? Storm, who was like a homeless teen on the streets of Cairo, Egypt, and can control the weather, checks notes, has the same power as Zeus. She's not the leader? We have 19 different versions of the Wolverine story, but not one Storm story. Crazy. Crazy. Even Professor X as the leader, like, he, like, I feel like men can't handle the power. Like, he's got the power to like do the mind thing, but can't stop humans from being human, like being a horrific terrorist and keeping everyone unsafe and enslaved. Can't do that, and can't even walk. Like, he has these abilities, but like, it's like he's using all of his power to like harness this power so he can't like walk. I'm like, damn, your body can't even handle the power. Like, you're not supposed to be the leader, unfortunately. Sorry. Like, I want to vote for Storm to be the leader, and Jean Grey be number 2, and Rogue be the number 3, coming up to lead the next generation, obviously. I hated, like, that storyline where they made Rogue, she was like, oh, I'm going to give up my power to be normal. Like, did a man convince you to do that? Anyway, okay. Billy said that's awesome. LOL, of course. The doctor was manipulative as shit. Everyone was pit against each other. Absolutely, absolutely. But I think number one, let being number one go to his head. I think it was a little bit easy for him to believe. He was like, oh yeah, I'm the leader. Right, right. I'm gonna do what dad says. Hey guys, we all gotta do what dad says. Like, just because like he knew he didn't really have a big power, and like yeah, the doctor was just like, you're the leader, and he was like, yeah, that's right, yeah, I'm the boy, I'm the white boy, and I'm strong, so I'm the leader, yeah, bro. Anyway, Billy also says that's the key thing. It's always got to be a square-jawed white guy. We got to write our stories. Yes, literally, I will give it to the square-jawed white guys. I will give it to not even square-jawed white guys. Like, but like white guys, they will write the story. They will write themselves as the hero, even though like they're obviously the villain. Lots of times, even like at best they're useless. At worst, they're actively the villain. Like, what was that movie that everyone loved? Oppenheimer. What are you talking? That guy murdered hundreds of thousands of innocent people. Like, whenever we put men in charge, they choose to like Hulk smash it. They bomb it. Oppenheimer, why would we make that like guy a hero? He's a bad guy. He should feel bad. I didn't watch it, but I hear like the lesson is like, oh, he was really tortured. Good, he should be. He made a bad decision and did a really horrific thing. That should bring shame on his family. It's crazy though that because we've like elevated, whatever men want to do, like what the people who like don't go to therapy, who like are just riddled with unprocessed trauma and shame and are just doing whatever like their dad tells them to do, like um yeah, it's like so ridiculous. Anyway, okay, so what else did I put here? Yeah. So it's also, I see, how the media, the matrix, the, white supremacy, blah, 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 these power structures condition us, though, to accept unsuitable men as the de facto leader. And we just kind of accept that and work around it. Like we limit our own imagination of how to do things based on our non-merit based de facto leader, which is really with all the stuff that's going on in the matrix with Trump and Elon Musk and all these things, stuff at my work and probably everyone else's. It's just like the cat is out of the bag, guys. The jig is up. We know like white men are not qualified, and white people really, like, that's why, like I saw a thing, they spent the past 500 years like murdering everyone they come across, enslaving everyone, exploiting them, lying, cheating, destroying the environment, all to prove that they're the superior race. I don't think it's giving the message you thinking it's giving, babes. It's crazy, and it's unfortunate because like kind of like an Umbrella Academy, it's just this older generation of shitty white dudes lying to their children and the rest of us about like how capable and qualified this man is, and like really they're just obedient. Anyway, I've always been drawn to stories where it's like an underdog, a diamond in the rough, an unlikely hero, someone who like everyone counts out, and they end up being the most powerful one, which is pretty much how it is actually in Umbrella Academy and X-Men also. And I think lots of things. That must be a story common in our human, like whatever, that like, yeah, we love a like child hero, like a Harry Potter, like a in Matilda, like I really resonated with the idea of like I was this like brilliant magical being who was really smart and really helpful, and like if only people just saw me, if they would only just see me, and recognize how powerful I am, how special I am, that they would treat me better. And I think that's like kind of the lesson of like lots of Aladdin and Matilda. Harriet the Spy, loved that one too. Rip to Michelle Trachtenberg, she just died. Harriet the Spy was another one where like I felt very like seen, and just I was like very observant, and you know, had a great revenge scene in that one. She really like um the kids were so mean, and it still makes me like tear up to think about how mean those kids in Harriet the Spy were to her, and how like gully her revenge was. And like I really appreciate that. Great movie. Sky High, another lesser known one that for most people, but like it's a really good one that's about like, you know, everyone thinks like there are superheroes and sidekicks, and the superheroes are like, you know, the Superman looking thing and the Superwoman looking thing, and you know, they have a child who is a, you know, sidekick. He doesn't have powers, and it's like really shameful, you know. And they're like, no, not no child of mine is going to be powerless. And it's not even like they're powerless. It's just like, you know, the hierarchy that they're born into says like these skills are valuable, flying, or strength, uh those are valuable, whereas like okay, in it there's this character who, when she went to high school, she was in the 70s, she was classified as a sidekick because they didn't like know what her power was. Turned out she was like a technopath, so she can control technology and, you know, the internet and electrical currents, but because it was the 70s or whatever, they didn't have the technology for her to be able to translate her power through. So they misclassified her as a sidekick, only good to support the actual heroes, the, you know, Superman types. When actually she was the most brilliant one. She was the most powerful one. And that comes back later. And she like, you know, is like, y'all counted me out. And now I'm going to have to take over everything and just recreate it how I think it should be done. And yeah, I think that's kind of what's gonna have to happen. Like the sidekicks, the underdogs, the women, the black women, we're gonna have to like step into our power and reassert what the proper order of things is. So yeah, what did I write here? Ladies, stop doing whatever dudes think is best. Yes. And leave behind women who choose to coddle, enable, and allow men to do whatever they want. Sorry, like, it's not okay to have male friends or partners who, what did I say? Who don't care, who are just like doing whatever they want. If they just want to watch TV and go to work and you know, whatever their work is, doesn't matter. Like, it's, hey, their choice, they can do whatever they want. And that's why we have a world that looks the way it does now, right? Like lots of fascism, lots of abuse, lots of depression, lots of violence. It's because we keep like saying like, well, that's okay, it's okay. Like, those men still deserve to have friends, and for us to like dim our light in order to be around these men. Why on earth would I dim my light to be around dudes like that? Why are you? How is that benefiting society? How is that benefiting our species, for us to make ourselves artificially small so that we can fit in with dudes who are absolutely not doing that for us? If anything, I think most men need to start dimming their light. I think we've seen a lot. We've seen a little too much. It's blinding everyone. Mm. Okay. Um yeah, so I've been a lot of my life like shamed for my sensitivity. Like you know, like oh, Shiva, you're so sensitive, or like you're too sensitive for this world, or it's not that big a deal. And we're really taught that like insensitivity is valuable, is preferable, is a trait we should elevate. If sensitivity is a bad thing, oh, you can't take a joke, oh, this, oh man, so unrealistic. Like, the idea that insensitivity is like something I should not be ashamed of is crazy. That's why we have like the political structures, the political people, the people in power, like the people who, in our media, uh, those type of people get elevated. Um, People who are like don't care about other people and are just about like trying to make money, and like those people are elevated because we've said insensitivity is like a good thing. But you know what? I work with medical records day in and day out. I'm going through treatment notes, making a crafting a story to support the decision I am trying to support. Um, and if someone has if I'm trying to say that someone is so disabled that they can't work, they've got a condition that's like, causing them so much trouble that they aren't able to function at work. If you have a condition that, and like your treatment notes, they say you're insensitive to like you can't feel it, like you're numb, like they'll pick you with a pin and you can't feel it. Insensitivity, it's an abnormal sign and evidence that something's wrong with you. If you mentally are unable to talk about a traumatic thing that happened or an abusive relationship you're in, if you're just like, no, 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 it's fine, you're like, that's an inappropriate affect. That means like you have inappropriate insight. You're insensitive, like you're not sensing things, you're not perceiving things appropriately, and it's evidence that something is wrong with you. Actually, when you have a like neuropathy, it's what's called when you have like an abnormal sensation, the inability to feel this. It's called neuropathy because it's something is wrong with your brain. It's a neurological condition. Your brain is not communicating with the rest of your body appropriately. So you're not able to accurately perceive reality. And it's causing you so much dysfunction that you can't actually work. So I know that to be true. But I also see everyone elevating this idea of like, oh, you're so sensitive, oh, oh, or like this guy just tells it like it is, or like this man just he just does whatever he wants and he doesn't apologize and it's just yep, so insensitive, or like he doesn't know what's going on, he doesn't care about it, doesn't have anything to do with him. Nope, doesn't really. Insensitivity is like, I don't know, it's just like evidence that something's wrong and that they're actually not functioning properly. Certainly it means that like I'm not gonna like it affects your credibility. Like if you're insensitive and you've cultivated insensitivity as a trait, what do I need that for? Why would I want to be around someone who isn't able to perceive reality appropriately? Because of a dysfunction in their brain. It's cool, like, not trying to be ableist, but like, go to a doctor. Don't take it out on me. Tell it to your therapist. Tell it to your neurologist. Don't tell it to me. So yeah, on this timeline, I've been talking about like, if it's not love, it's not for me. Love is the key to accessing this timeline. Love and curiosity, I think. Like, you have to be brave enough to satisfy your curiosity, and you gotta like, if you're not gonna be loving with me, like, no. There's lots of people out here who oh man, another thing my therapist said. Um so yeah, she said, okay, what does it mean for me to challenge the expectation that women must tolerate subpar treatment in the name of love, family, or loyalty? That's where we got the name, What You Won't Do for Love, right? Because, like, we are all, I think, expected to tolerate lots of stuff in the pursuit of love. Even in the song What You Won't Do for Love, which you know, Billy apparently is really good at singing, and I know it. He's such an amazing voice. But you know, it's like, some people travel around the world for love. Yup. Like, we go out of our way to pursue love. We will make ourselves extra small in the name of love. You know, a child, as children, what did we do in order to obtain uh, and pursue our parents' love? We made ourselves so small, so quiet, so obedient. We did whatever they said, just so that they would love us, just on the chance that they would treat us better, that they would show us love. And, you know, didn't work. I know a lot of us were very good children. We're very obedient. We're very like, just very ourselves. Probably a joy to raise. And we still probably got beat. We still got hit. We still got yelled at. We were still treated unlovingly. And it's like really lame that we like, it's really uncool that we expect people to just like give up everything, make themselves so small and so useful for, you know, not even like very bare minimum love. But yeah, tolerate we're taught that we have to tolerate subpar treatment in the name of love, family, or loyalty. So how many of us have been in relationships with family or other relationships, friends, roommates, like what do you call them, work, jobs, um you know, romantic relationships where we tolerated subpar treatment just to belong, just to be chosen, just to say that we were in this family, just to say that like we have this job title, just to like, you know, maintain a certain standard of living, just to, you know, like maintain esteem in our community. Yeah. Can't be doing that, babes. Um okay, what else did I say here? What else did I say? Yeah. So on this timeline, we are not just giving all of our stuff, everything we've got, and accepting whatever they're willing to give us, whatever breadcrumb they're willing to give us. We understand they're not gonna, they've got all this stuff going on, and I don't need that much. I'll make myself smaller for you. Absolutely not. That is expired timeline behavior, babes. Now on this timeline, yeah, like we just have high standards. So for my brother-in-law, now, you know, he said I told him I would need an apology before I'm going to, you know, be around him or go over to his house or, you know, engage with him. And he came back, counter offered, rejected my offer. He said no, he's not going to apologize, but he is willing to move forward. So that's what we call in the legal business a counter offer. Rejected my offer and counter offered with no apology, and I have to just come over and it sounds like not talk about it and just take it on the chin. Okay? I'm going to reject that offer, and now I am going to counter offer. Best I can do is I'm going to need an apology from him, and now I'm going to need financial compensation. I'm about to blow up. I'm about to be on a meteoric ascent to success and influence and um, admiration and all these things. And my time is incredibly valuable. My energy, my essence, that's not even to mention my wisdom and like, you know, these other things I have to offer, but like, you know, my presence, my time is incredibly valuable. And I am not discounting my access to me for some guy who can't even apologize. LOL. For what? It's giving me Eartha Kitt. It's Eartha Kitt coded. Compromise with a man? For what? What is that man bringing me? I had to realize, like, oh, wait, I'm the draw. I'm the light. I'm the sun. And the sun is allowed to stop shining if they want. The sun does not owe us shining. And if we start to abuse the sun is well within the sun's rights to be like, bye. You don't appreciate me? Goodbye. Freeze to death. Go ahead. Go see how your little crops grow without me. See how cold it is without me. Enjoy it. Enjoy perpetual winter and darkness. Have fun. There you go. Was it worth it? Was it not worth apologizing? Was it not worth a couple of bucks? So yeah, anyway. So yeah, now, new terms. I am going to need an apology and financial compensation. I do not have any space in my life for men who are not loving and gracious and devoted to me and my like comfort and safety and well-being. In 2025, come on. I have to honor my foremothers. I have to honor, like, you know, all the ancestors. I'm not submitting to a man. Come on. Come on. We like, it's absurd. Yeah. All right. So last thing I got, create a life where you don't have to rely on like a careless, grumpy, surly asshole who's set in his ways and unwilling to grow or learn or change in a way that's going to make you feel comfortable. Like, create a life where you don't have to rely on someone like that. Why would you? You wouldn't rely on a woman who was like that. You would instantly understand, like, no, I'm just going to go find someone else or be alone. Yeah, don't rely on someone like that in exchange for in exchange for you providing unpaid labor and like tolerating his presence, and just see how amazing your life gets when you release and make space, like, you know, remove people who are not treating you lovingly, who are not recognizing you, who don't pour into you, who don't aren't appreciative of what you pour into them. When you release them, oh my gosh, you're gonna be like, it's like when you like get outside after you've been inside all day, kind of, and like the sun hits you and you're like, you can breathe and you're like, oh god, I'm not depressed. I was just around I just wasn't around the sun. I was just dimming my light. I was just keeping myself small. I was attaching myself to, you know, someone who was trying to keep me down, who benefited from me keeping myself down. Literally the number one in Umbrella Academy, like, bro, untether yourself from your dad. You wouldn't have lost years of your life doing a made up thing, right? Yeah, guys, that's it. Ah, God, I know that one is like, this one is going to be so so much better than I even know. But yeah, so what you won't do for love, Now we're not going to do a lot of things. We're like, no. Travel around the world? No. No, I'm not going to do that. But I am going to encourage you to step into your power for love. Absolutely. I am going to encourage you to raise your standards for love. Yes, I will. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what we won't do for love, we will not tolerate subpar treatment. We won't do that. We will not dim our light for love. We not gonna do that, babies. Okay? All right. Well, I think that's everything. I think that's all I got. I'm trying to do this so I can have a cool screenshot too. What do we think? Mm. Mm. I don't know. Okay, bring your forehead in here. Put it on your screen. Put your forehead against your screen. Love you. This is all made up, babes. I've been knowing. I've been knowing. And if you've been here with me from the beginning, you know it's all made up. And I would love to hear about, little confirmations that you've been having. Because I know for me, it's been coming so much. So I want to hear about you. Like, yeah, where are you seeing that it is all made up? Where are you like raising your standards for treatment? What are you no longer gonna do for love? You get what I'm saying. All right, love you guys. And yeah, let me see. Where's the little thingy? Okay, let me all right. Thank you for seeing like Sheba. I don't know. Something, see like Sheba.